Hello, everyone. So, I was on Facebook yesterday looking at my messages, and apparently there is a spam/junk folder in my Facebook messages, which I didn't know about at first. A couple years ago, EVE Online's Facebook page had a writing contest, and I submitted a piece that I wrote for the writing contest. Apparently, I won third place. And I only found out about it yesterday. That would be June 26, 2022. About 2 years after I won. Today, I'm going to read the piece that I submitted for the EVE Online writing contest. It's about my first solo kill in EVE Online. On Z-Kill, it shows my first solo kill as some poor soul who felt the fury of Concord's gate guns, and I happened to land the final blow. But we don't talk about that one. No, I got my first real solo kill on February 13th, 2019 at 04:56 hours, down in ZJ TAC Q00. It was a relatively quiet day in the home hole, as I spent most of the time I was there mining gas. I saw that N1 down the bottom of the chain on tripwire, and a quick check of my galaxy map revealed I'd never visited there before. I decided I'd take a quick trip down there after I finished off the last of the gas in the home hole for that day. It was a frig hole, so I flew the only ship I could, which also had missiles, my flimsy Corax named Blitzcrank Dakar, like my other ships. Upon entering the nullsec system, I saw a prospect on my D-scan named 123, and 2 other pilots in local. I reported it on comms, and said I want to try and attack this guy. Saggle actually encouraged me to go for it, and told me I would probably be successful in my attack. Forgetting that a prospect was a gas huffer, I foolishly warped to the system's ice belt, and remembered my mistake during the trip. Checking D-scan every 4 seconds or so, I suddenly saw a Gila out of range and a Newt in local. I ignored the Gila and warped back to the home hole to grab my Heron Sir Scans-a-Lot. After my polarization timer ended, I took Sir Scans-a-Lot through the frig hole, saw 123 still on my D, made a safe spot, launched my combat probes, pinned him down, and bookmarked his location. Back through the frig hole it was to get Blitzcrank Dakar. Once I entered ZJ TAC Q for a third time, 123 the prospect was still on my D, but his signature wasn't listed in the probe scanner window. Fortunately, I had the bookmark. 123 was either in a pos, or more unaware of his surroundings than a swearing drunken sailor in a church. Also, the Gila and the third neutral in local were gone. For now. I warped to my bookmark of 123's location with Blitzcrank Dakar, and there he was. On grid with me. Just mining gas with no regard whatsoever. No drones, no movement, no alignment as far as I could tell. He was more AFK than a horny nerd on his very first date, so I decided to lock on and attack. When the lock-on completed, my adrenaline started climbing. I was refreshing my D-scan as fast as the game would allow. I instantly activated my web and my scram and my missile launchers. I approached him so as to bump him off whatever alignment he may have had. Plus, keeping him at less than 100 meters meant he would feel the fury of my missiles that much sooner. D-scan blazing, I saw that goddamn Gila again. My adrenaline went up in turn, because I knew at this point I was fully committed. I was completely misaligned to the safety of the home hole. I had no backup on the other side. Was this prospect bait? Was that Gila his backup? Were there reinforcements on the other side of the system gate? Who's that other player in local? Is she watching this? I've heard that nullsec gas, unlike wormhole gas, explodes. Will it explode in my face during this attack? On Discord comms, I was swearing profusely as my adrenaline was so high. Saggle later told me that he heard no shaking in my voice, just lots of F-bombs. In-game, however, my adrenaline kept me focused. I started calling out in comms. Oh man, he's down to 75% shields, 50% shields. Oh fuck, he's in armor. His armor's gone. Oh fuck. 50. Make that 25% structure. He's dead. I killed him. Pod on grid. I heard the pings and saw kill mail notifications on my lower right side of my screen. My adrenaline was at maximum, but so was my focus. I had my mouse cursor at the ready to lock onto his pod on my grid window. Tequila was once again gone from my D. Locking up that pod seemed to take forever, but I approached it anyway. I instantly turned on my web and scram and launchers when the lock finished. The first volley took him down to half HP. The second finished him off. He was my second ever pod kill. I podded him! I podded his AFK ass, I said. And I thought it funny that his name disappeared from local through my actions. I removed him from local. He did not willingly remove himself. I was dead silent in local as force of habit from living in wormhole space. Though my adrenaline was high, I maintained laser-like focus on the next task at hand of looting and salvaging the wreck, despite Sagal's suggestion that I just kill him and get out. So I went back to the home hole and got my venture to collect the gas he had mined. I waited for my polarization timer to finish and entered their system for a fourth time and warped to the bookmark of my first solo kill. He mined so much golden cytocericin, I actually had to make 2 trips. Then, finally, I brought out my salvage cormorant, entered their system for the 6th time, scooped his corpse, looted the rest of his modules, and salvaged what was now known as Wreck of 123. Wrecked by me. The salvage was only some scrap metal in a power circuit worth less than $500,000 ISK, but I didn't care. It was the least important part of my first solo kill ever in EVE Online. In total, I did 113,455,278.88 ISK in damages to him, as his pod had 4 basic implants, and added an extremely welcome bonus to my first solo kill. And when I looked at his Z-kill board, apparently he was 78% dangerous, and I caused his first PvP loss since January 28th. I didn't say anything in local, or to him afterward. Although he was unarmed and AFK, what made this memorable for me was not only the fact that this was my first solo kill, but also there were so many unknowns. I think there are 2 universal truths about playing EVE. You'll never forget your first kill, and this game gets your heart pumping like no other game can. I'll save the bookmark of this location forever as a reminder of my first solo kill. It was fun. I want to do that more often. As a side note, evidently in EVE Online, AFK stands for Ass Freely Kicked.